how you doing? Welcome to part 4. It's early. This is what happens when I don't wash my hair every day. It goes a bit bananas. I've got to take my son to school very shortly. Everybody downstairs is having about their 5th breakfast, and then I'm going to yoga, and then I've got various other things going on today. So I wanted to get this done. I wanted to continue this series because it seems to be a juicy one based on the chats that I'm having in messages and things like that. And I wanted, as always, in the other parts, to not only give you some tangible examples behind the scenes, but also get you or invite you to go to a place where you can take these prompts and you can play around with them and you can turn them around and say, what does that say about my business? So therefore, what do I need to do or to know? And it's about moving into action. I've got 5 points for you today. If you haven't revisited the others and you're visiting for the first time, don't worry, but you can go back to those because there's loads of juice in there. Okay, number 1. And this is probably going to be one of the ones that you don't want to do. But if you can do it, it will not only change your life and your situation, but where you go from here. And that is check your bank statements. Check your bank all of the time. And this is so you get to know who you are, what you're all about, what's important. Because the way that you go through life will give you so many clues as to what's important to you. And I think so often when we leave the 9 to 5 or we go for our dreams or whatever the sort of sexy version of it is, sometimes there isn't this emphasis on the money. And we have to have it. Because as much as we all want to serve and we all want, and I think this is definitely a feminine thing as well, we all want to serve and show up and we don't want to be sleazy or too salesy or any of the things. But you know, there's a time and a place for actually growing a business as well, for actually closing that pay gap, for actually being profitable. And this honestly changed the way that I lived and worked by simply checking my bank and my accounts 2 or 3 times a day. And this is a habit I've still continued to this day, mainly because I know what's there. And secondly, so I understand the pattern of my month. So when things go out, when things come in, what's going on. And thirdly, what I actually spend money on. Because there is some shift that happens when you work for yourself or you're not reliant on a corporate salary. Unless you make it, as in unless you generate the income, you're not getting paid. So it's finding those, I guess this is something that came up for me a while ago, was that sense of it's really got to be worth the effort. And so it changed the way that I started spending money and thinking about money because my time, my energy, my freedom was really important to me. And so I wanted to really work my schedule, really work my week so I could do all of those things. Also, what I am not interested in is holding back or saying I am, this theory of if you cut down on your coffee every single day, you will earn by the end of the year. And, I think life is too short. And I think naturally we are all good at squeezing ourselves into a place where we go smaller and we don't listen and we do the things that, the sensible things. And, if coffee is your thing that you want to buy in the morning, then buy it. And also take that as data that you need to consider how you are going to fund that. And therefore other changes that you might want to make. So look at your numbers. Look at how you spend. Look at where you spend. What's important to you. And if you're not getting the picture that you want, again, there's no shame. There's no, oh my goodness, I'm such a terrible person. I'm such a terrible person with money. If you are feeling those feelings, most of us have not been taught how to do that. So take it as an opportunity to go, okay, great. Right. What do we do? And I often look at the way that I teach my children about certain things. I'm never taking that approach of like, I can't believe that you've not sorted that yet. I just would never do that. I would never do that. Number 2, free stuff. There is this expectation, and people will say these things. And to a point, I believe they are right, which is go to every meeting, keep showing up, put yourself out there, work for free, just get yourself in the room. And the part 2 of this that for me is often missing is asking yourself why. Why? Why are you in that room? Why do you want to put yourself in that room? Why do you need to do that thing right now? Because here's what happens. If we don't know why, sometimes we end up doing things that are not in support of you, not in support of the person, and are not building blocks to where we actually want to get to. So if you are having a coffee with somebody, if you are putting out a free piece of content, if you are showing up to something and you're not quite sure, firstly, I would say check in with that feeling. What is your gut saying? And I know so many times there have been moments where I'm like, I've just got to get there. I will get there. I will be in that room. And there's just been that instinctive feeling where I'm like, I've got to do that thing. And what happens then is that knock-on effect of you meet that person, something else happens, you meet somebody else who might pop up later down the line, or you just make a really great pal, or you have a lovely night, or you find the restaurant on the way home where you're going to have your next birthday, whatever it is. Sometimes these things just sort of fall into place. So know why you are there. Because I think sometimes it can be really easy to feel like we're being stretched and pulled in all sorts of directions, and we are doing all of the things for free all of the time, and we're helping and we're doing all of those kind of pleasing qualities. And then what can happen is at the end of the week, we might get to that point of like, I just feel, I don't know what I've achieved, I feel burnt out, or I don't know what's next. So just know why you're doing it. But also trust that instinct as well, because sometimes there may not be that logical reason as to why you need to get in that room, and it will change everything. I do believe in magic sometimes. Number 3, will it make the boat go faster? I have recently read this book, which I highly recommend. It's in my bookshop in my highlights, called The Gap and the Gain. And the guy who, it's written by 2 people, a doctor and somebody else, the author, and they were talking about the British rowing team, and their whole mission throughout their training was, will it make the boat go faster? Will it make the boat go faster? And ultimately, knowing what your goal is and then making decisions to be in support of that is going to help you. So ask yourself in your business and your daily actions and how you're spending your time and the things that you say yes to and the things that you say no to, is it making the boat go faster? Are you edging towards your version of success? Because if you're not, again, it's not about shaming. It's not about like, oh gosh, I've done this so wrong for the last 5 years. You only know what you know at the time. So take those moments for yourself and ask, okay, so therefore what do I need to do? Number 4, are you leaning against the right wall? This is a really interesting one for me, because I know that I love doing lots of different things. Whenever I look at my income pie, whenever I look at bank statements, C.1, I see money coming from different sources. But I have to be careful that I don't spread myself too thin or try to be all the things to all the people and get scattered. And so when I come back to this phrase of, am I leaning against the right wall? This wall can be multicolored and diverse and all of the rest of it, having all of these different parts of my business. But there are some things that can distract me or pull me away, or I start to think about something else and it's not relevant, it's busy work, or it's somebody else's agenda. So wherever you can, make sure that you are really being in that present moment. Firstly, is it making the boat go faster, your boat? And are you making solid decisions that are going to ultimately get there? Because sometimes it will take some time. It won't be an overnight success. You won't just say yes and then the universe will high five you and go, well, thank goodness you've come. Sometimes things take a little bit longer to build. And the final one, have you thought about how you could have a visual representation of what you're doing, what you're building, where you're going, what's important to you? As we've moved into this house, I'm really thinking about what I see visually around me. And what I see to the left is a pile of ironing. I've actually done a lot of ironing this morning because we've all been up super early. I don't know why. That I need to put away. But I'm being very conscious about my surroundings. When we chose this paint colour, I wanted it to feel good. I wanted to feel, just feel good, you know. I wanted to be excited to look at it, etc. Because I look at it all the time. When I sat in this chair, I wanted it to be comfortable. So that visual reminder of what you're building could be really important. That could look like a mood board. That could look like a vision board that you have above your desk. That could be your desktop, whatever you see when you open your laptop. It could be what's next to your bed. One of the things that I really love to do is to get almost like a scrapbook and cut things out. And put pictures in there. And sometimes if I'm not feeling inspired, or if I'm in self-doubt, or I don't know what I'm doing with my life, sometimes I'll go back to there and I'll just have a lovely flick through and enjoy that moment as well. That's it for today. If you want to find out more, if you want to do the thing, if you are listening to this on Friday and going, oh my gosh, another week that has gone by and I'm not doing the things that I want to do, message me. You can DM, you can email hello@nikkiraby.com. I will point you in the right direction. If I can help, I'm sure I will know somebody that can. But get cracking. Begin today, because people always say it, tomorrow is not guaranteed. You know, I don't really work on that sort of scarcity thing, but it's time and you can do it. And it's now just about taking baby steps to make it happen. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for being with me. And I think there's a part 5. So have a look. If you're not subscribed on the podcast, please do. And check out my Freebies House, nikkiraby.com/freebies. Sending lots of love and have a wonderful day. Also, if you're watching on video, you can see my excellent 80s leggings, which make me want to kind of jazz leap down the street. So if you're in North London today and you see me doing that, give us a wave. All right, see you later. Bye.